Hi everybody, I'm here with GMT Labyrinth that is now being, I guess the reprint is now being shipped by GMT. I'm of course not doing a review of this game since it's been on the market for almost 2 years, I guess. I'm pretty sure that the majority of the wargamers are familiar with this game and with their mechanics. So the reason why I'm making this video is that I thought that instead of just reviewing, I can maybe go over even old games that I like and just share with you the reasons why I like certain games. And the reason why I wanted to shoot a short video on Labyrinth is that for a long time I was somehow troubled by the similarities of this game to Twilight Struggle, that is really one of my favorite games ever. And I guess that the reason was that I played the solitary option of Labyrinth way too much, and I played this game, I didn't play this game enough with a real opponent, and that I guess made a lot of difference in the way I perceived the game at first. So one thing that I did is that after playing with a real opponent, I actually decided to explore in solitaire the game, playing both sides, and honestly I find it very exciting. And differently than Twilight Struggle, knowing the cards of your opponent is not in Twilight Struggle would be impossible to do this, because Twilight Struggle is way more card driven, so to speak, than this game. But the fact that you have 2 turns for each player, starting with the jihadist, 2 phases for 2 actions for each phase in every turn, makes the deployment of cards very different than the way you use cards in Twilight Struggle. And that is a game in which I don't want to say the luck, but let's say that the order in which you get the cards and how you are able to play those cards in a certain order is basically all that game is about, or at least is the 80% in my opinion of what that game is about. Has somehow a broader scope because of course it is about the Cold War and, you know, gaining influence on the 5 continents. While and one more and a very important thing, there are way more lapsing events in Twilight Struggle than Labyrinth, and there are more cards that actually cancel each other in Twilight Struggle than Labyrinth, and that is a signal of how the card, you know, component is very important. One thing that I absolutely love of Labyrinth is, of course, the alignment of the countries, the postures, and the jihad and the war of ideas on one side, and the war of ideas on the other side, and how all this game is basically about turning the alignments, in changing the alignments of a country and its governance with a certain number of resources that you are given that are the same throughout the game. So 15 troops and 15 cells and you gotta do your best out of those troops. Um, I think that playing this game, I wish there was a history teacher, because I think that would be simply amazing to teach contemporary history using this game. The way the geography of the map is organized is very very interesting. The system of the posture is quite interesting. For example, right now in this game in US, we'll have soon trying to shift to soft, otherwise it's going to pay a big penalty here for an unbalanced relationship with the European countries. The system of the prestige, I like it somehow. I like this more than Twilight Struggle. The fact that this game goes more into managing smaller details, and somehow I find it more complex from this perspective, which doesn't mean more difficult, because Twilight Struggle has a broader scope than this one, and the victory conditions in Twilight Struggle are more difficult to reach than this game. But I love the accuracy of the details in terms of aspects, you know, and that you gotta keep in mind, you gotta keep track of. I was also in the latest issue of C3I. There was a very nice article by Joel, the developer of Labyrinth, that really, I think, gives an idea of the narrative that is behind this game. I wonder if wouldn't be possible somehow to change something in the general scenario of the game. I'm of course not a game designer nor a developer, but I mean changing something according to what happened, I mean in these past 2-3 years in terms of posture of countries, you know, especially Iran, Germany, France. For example, United Kingdom most probably, you know, is now should like Israel be always on hard or stuff like that. But anyway, that of course will unbalance the game. But what I think is that this game is truly a great lens to look at contemporary history. And of course, like in every, you know, like Twilight Struggle, the cards are very very detailed, and of course they are all inspired by real events, and then with specific references. Truly awesome. And one more thing that I loved in, as I said, playing solo, but identifying myself with both parts, is that this chasing of the US after the jihadist cells. So in playing both roles, you know, when I play the jihadists, I have this feeling that I have to mess up with, you know, countries and governance as much as I can, and then once I'm in the US, I have the problem that I can deploy troops either where there is an ally, or to make a regime change in an Islamist-ruled country. Or I can do diplomatic operations in order to change posture or to disrupt cells and stuff like that. So it feels like if you play both roles, it really feels like you are playing somehow the aggressive side, so to speak, of the jihadist, aggressive in the sense of having always the initiative, you know. In fact, it has 2 actions at the beginning of every action phase. And on the other side, the reaction of the aggressive reaction of America, of USA, to the action of the jihadist. And somehow I like it I like it more instead of following the still very beautifully made solo charts for this game, but playing into and exploring the game as if I were playing against a real opponent made me appreciate more this dynamic of the game, of how identifying with both roles really gives you how the feeling the game, how every player is playing from a different perspective, and how really this game merges like two different points of view, two strategic points of view. Really just beautiful. And as I said, I'm just sharing some impressions about the game that I really think is great, and if GMT has just reprinted it, it means that it was successful and that people are looking forward, that those who didn't have a chance to play it before are looking forward to playing it, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to enjoy this game. I guess this is it. Thank you very much for watching.